Come for a ride with me.
Hello everyone, and Happy New Year from all of us here at CHB. It is CHB TV. It is Monday, January the 2nd. I'm Clay Imoo. I'm here with Guerrero and Chris Golden. It's a few hours prior to the Vancouver Canucks hosting the San Jose Sharks. We have the Winter Classic on in the background, and we are here at the Hog Shack in Steveston, Richmond. Enjoying at least Chris is enjoying a great meal, and he had something to say about the Winter Classic.
Yeah, I actually did. I was hearing that Ilya Bryzgalov has his thermos of tea, and it's pretty cold out there, so I got myself my thermos of coffee. I'm not leaving home anywhere near it, and anytime I'm sitting down in a restaurant, I have that with me just in case.
JJ, do you have anything?
Nah, I've got water, man.
That's all we need. All right. The Canucks are looking ahead at this week. They got 2 of their next 3 games against tough teams. San Jose tonight and, of course, Boston on Saturday. Team Toughness coming up once again, especially on that New Year's Eve loss to the LA Kings. JJ, when you think of Team Toughness, do you think the Canucks have it, and do you think they need more of it?
I think the Canucks have what it takes. I mean, if you look at all the abuse that these guys get, you look at Brad Richardson nailing the Sedins after a goal. You look at Drew Doughty, hitting, was it Daniel or Henrik, one of the Sedins. You kind of notice a theme here that, it's their so-called tough guys. They're going after the Sedins. I mean, why don't you go after Dale Weiss or someone like that? I mean,
because he might do something on Twitter to them or something.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a comeback through Twitter, right? But you know what I mean? It's overblown. I actually like what Kaylee mentioned at the review and preview post this week, where Team Toughness is as hot a topic in Vancouver as the Kardashians are in Hollywood. So I think the Canucks have it. They're certainly showing that they can push back, and if they don't push back, the hope is, of course, that the refs call a good game. They call the power plays or the penalties as they're deserved.
Chris, what were you thinking about Team Toughness?
Well, one of the things that I don't quite understand is that everyone's so tied up about why don't we get the power play, why don't we see the referees make the call. I think we're beyond the point that the call's not going to be made, so why not, send a pair off. I like the fact that when Hank got hit by, was it Richards, that the first thing Alberts did was went over there to light him up. Now, it's unfortunate that the referee saw fit to send a pair to the box, and we didn't get anything out of it, but, I think it's time that Canucks get a little bit old school. I mean, you think about Wayne Gretzky when he played, back in that day and age, you didn't go and hit Gretzky because the result to you wasn't that you had to fight anyone. It's because, well, if you're going to hit our best player, we're going to come after yours. And I'd like to see the Canucks maybe throw a little Dave Semenko out on the ice and show that, if you're going to come after us and our best players, we're going to do the same to you. And I think teams will learn quickly that, it's tit for tat.
Yeah. Nice segue, actually. Coach Alain Vigneault actually called out Weiss, Lapierre, and Alberts for not doing enough. Do you think it's got to be those 3, JJ, that got to do something, or do you think there's someone else that might be able to step up and help out in the Toughness?
Well, I think those 3, just because of the role that they play on the team, right? I mean, you don't want Burrows going in there. The guy's a 30-goal forward playing on the top line, right? He plays on the power play. So, I mean, if you're going to send someone off and the Canucks are going to get a power play out of it, you want Burrows out there on the ice, not in the penalty box. But, overall, I mean, it's not just up to those 3 guys. I mean, everyone's got to chip in. Booth when he comes back, Bieksa. I mean, all these guys, if they see something going on the ice, they've got to band together and stick up for each other. I mean, we know that the refs are seemingly anyway willing to let a lot of these things go, a lot of this after the whistle stuff. Hey, if they're not going to call it, might as well get in on it too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris, if they can't get Semenko out of retirement, who do you think they could rely on now?
Well, the one player I'm actually kind of surprised hasn't been called up yet is Mike Ducko, because you look at the way he played in the preseason, and the guy pretty much was like a riot on skates. I mean,
you used the word riot.
Oh, I did. So sorry, everyone in Vancouver. But the point being is he really knew how to light a fire on the opposition. Players were taking runs at him. And, everyone looks back at the years that Matt Cook played for the Vancouver Canucks, and we know his journeys to Pittsburgh and what that resulted in. But the one thing that, anyone, if they were to ask about Matt Cook, was he was able to get the other team off their game. And he wasn't afraid to, dish it. Now, the one thing we all know that Matt Cook was afraid of doing was avoiding the turtle pose when a fight were to break out. But I don't think Mike Ducko would do that. But, yeah, we don't want Burrows throwing down. I mean, maybe Ballard, sure, but maybe Bieksa, do you really want him off the ice for 5 minutes? And I look at the Canucks power play as efficient and effective, but if plays aren't coming, the great thing that we know about the Vancouver Canucks is their penalty kill is just as strong. So if we have to kill off the odd penalty here and there, and considering the fact that we're still so dangerous on the penalty kill, I really see the trade-off as being, really there's no trade-off. In fact, it might even be an advantage just because of the toughness factor that we would see the Canucks get.
Thanks, Chris. And JJ, finishes off here. Just talk about the power play a little bit. What do you think is going wrong, or do you think it's just a small blip? 0 for 4 against LA. We could have used at least 1 or 2 goals there.
Yeah, I think it's a small blip. Before I go into that, actually, I want to say something about Mike Ducko. I like what Jason Botchford wrote earlier in the year, where, Mike Ducko, he's a S disturber, you know what I mean? And he'll definitely stir the pot, but is that the kind of guy that the Canucks want at this point of the game? I mean, they've got enough pests out there. They've got Lapierre, who's yapping all the time. They've got BX, Kessler, Burrows. Those guys are some of the best in the game at yapping. So it might actually be a detriment to have someone like Mike Ducko on the ice when the refs are already turning a blind eye on a lot of the stuff that's going on with the Canucks. Now, with the power play, now what was the question of the power play?
Just wanted you to say something about it so we can end this thing off.
It's a small blip. I mean, we got to give credit to Kingston. I know it sounds like we're whining about the calls and the penalties and all that sort of stuff, but the Kings played a really good game, and they played a good game in front of their home crowd. They took the game to the Canucks. They took a page out of the Boston Bruins playbook. Let's be completely honest with that. There was pushback, but probably not as much pushback as the Canucks wanted, like what Vigneault said. So I think it's a small blip. I mean, you can't complain about the power play. These guys are clinging at 25%, and the second team I think is at 20 or 21 right now. So they're a lot better than the next team. I can just give it time. They get enough chances, they'll score.
All right. Well, thank you, viewers. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, JJ. We're looking ahead to a great week, including Boston on Saturday. Old acquaintance will not be forgot as the Canucks look to avenge their Stanley Cup Finals loss. Team Toughness on the mind of JJ, on the mind of me, on the mind of Chris, his pulled pork sandwich. Take care. See you next week. Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. Oh, perfect. Good timing. Awesome. Welcome. Get that over there. You got your blooper already.
There you go.
Thank you.
Awesome. This looks good.
That looks great.
Thank you.
Just perfect for you, water only?
That's good.
Yes, thank you.
Notice how Chris is the only one eating. How rude.
That looks great, man.
It looks real good. I got some chili, I got some cornbread, I got some pulled pork sandwich. What's better than this to start off a new year?
All right.
That or a heart attack.
This should be your inspiration. It should be a good one then.
Yeah.
Okay.